Ohio representatives. His report just got back to us moments ago. We're going to have that for you in just a few minutes or so. Well, because Washington is going to be like a popsicle on Monday, there will be a whole lot of people there bundled in horse blankets. In fact, even some horses are going to be needing those blankets on Monday, including some horses from Cleveland. Where else? Our posse of 20 police horses and 20 officers has now finished their practicing for the big day, and the Cleveland Police Mounted Patrolmen's Unit is now packed up and ready for an early Saturday morning departure. And we're told they're actually packing some extra horse blankets for this trip, since Inauguration Day in Washington is expected to be the coldest in the history of our country.
Next, we're going to introduce...
There, and here now is his report.
Fireworks were just the wrap-up to a long day in D.C. for members of the Brunswick Band. Their day began at the FBI's headquarters. But while a plaster cast of John Derringer's face is unique, these kids had their minds on the afternoon performance for the president.
I'm hoping to see the president and, get an idea of what everything's about.
I'm mostly looking forward to meeting the president and talking to other people there. Playing for the president.
The kids here wear their success on their sleeves. As you can see, they've had a lot of success, but nothing like this before. Well, how come this one's better?
I don't know, it's just more exciting to see the president and stuff.
By afternoon, it was on to the ellipse, only yards from the White House. There was time for a last-minute bit of polish, tape to keep gloves on and hands warm, and practice to ease pre-show jitters. There are lots of famous sights in Washington, D.C. People come from all over the world to see them. Well, today, one of Ohio's famous sights came to Washington, the Brunswick High School Marching Band. Washington wasn't disappointed. In Washington, D.C., Paul Orlowski, TV5 Eyewitness News.
And one more thing, Paul will have additional reports from Washington, D.C. on Eyewitness News throughout the weekend, so you be watching us, okay? The investigation goes on.
It's great to be here.
The Marching Blue Devils from Brunswick are the only Ohio high school band to play for the president at his inaugural Monday. Last night, the band got a chance to warm up in some unusually cold weather.
Monday, I hope it's not this cold. But frozen toes won't matter to the Brunswick teens who walked miles door to door to help raise more than $30,000 to pay for the trip. But most Clevelanders who are attending the inaugural have to foot the entire bill themselves. And what a bill it is.
First, there's the plane ticket and your hotel.
And then you need to buy your tickets for most of the inaugural events. That is, if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one.
And then, of course, you don't want to miss the parade. But wait a minute, do you have a ticket? For a good seat, you need one.
And we're not finished yet. Throw in food, taxis, and souvenirs. And this is your presidential party price tag.
News Forum tonight. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second. A lot of people down there. This is the Brunswick Band, the Cleveland, and also the Medina Sheriff's Mounted Patrols. But boy, I was down there. It's tough to argue with the decision to cancel. Now, this is the book that they use to plan this parade. It's a big book. They plan for everything, except for the weather.
1, 2, ready, play.
The Brunswick Band may have gotten its first weather clue when it performed on the Ellipse on Friday night. It was cold. Nonetheless, planning went on.
At this point, if you hear nothing further from us, report to Pentagon or other stations.
This is a Saturday meeting at Fort McNair. Brunswick band leaders are here. So are mounted units from Cleveland and Medina County. They'd wait and see what morning brought. I'm at the assembly area on the mall, not far from the Capitol. And in the hours before the inauguration parade, there is growing concern about the weather and the effect it might have on the bands. So they've added warming tents. Frostbite is a big concern. It's less than 24 hours now till the parade. Medina County Sheriff's deputies worked horses, getting ready for the march down Pennsylvania Avenue. A couple of barns over, the Cleveland Mounted Unit did the same.
Weather conditions are not conducive to riding, but we had to do something, just take the edge off the horses. So this is called lunging, and it's just getting them out and letting them stretch out, work off some excess energy.
If you question the weather, just watch the horse. Footing was treacherous, the temperature worse.
We wouldn't be riding in this kind of weather if it wasn't for this parade. This is brutal.
Now, we mentioned a silver lining. There is some in this cloud. Instead of playing, the bands like Medina's bands and the marching units in Washington are going to be played for. President Reagan tonight said that he was so upset by the cancellation of the inaugural parade that they've lined up a special show. It's going to be held at the Capitol Center for all the marching units and bands. So parents from the Brunswick area, look for that on network TV.
So
Kids will still be on it.
That's right. So what were the reasons for the cancellation?
Well, obviously, overall, the weather, but when you think about it, as much worry was for the spectators as for the marchers. People had to sit out in this for hours. even in the stands, really could have resulted in a whole lot of injuries, and kids, you know, with their fingers exposed. Pom-pom girls are not very...
That's right.
Well, actually, they're in danger at 30 below.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Paul. It was off to Washington, D.C. this morning for Charlie Two Shoes. Charlie wants to stay in this country with the American